Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Imagine waking up from a 6-month coma after a devastating car crash that took the lives of your wife and children. After countless hours in hospitals and rehab sessions that push you to your limits, you're finally discharged. But the moment you think about getting into a car, you're frozen with fear. Your mind replays the crash like a never-ending horror film. Screeching tires, shattered glass, chaos. Even the sound of traffic triggers a wave of panic. Your chest tightens, your hands sweat, your heart races. Like you're holding a live grenade and can't put it down. This is PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's your brain's way of reliving trauma on loop, even when you desperately want to move on. PTSD doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Bipolar disorder. If you've ever ridden a high-speed roller coaster at an amusement park, you've had a tiny glimpse into what living with bipolar disorder can feel like. But this isn't the kind of ride filled with laughter and cotton candy. It's more like a mental roller coaster that throws you between two completely different states of mind. One side is the manic phase. Imagine feeling like you've just hit the jackpot and downed FF energy drinks. You're full of confidence, excitement, and racing thoughts like you could take on the world or even step into the ring with Mike Tyson. But before you can enjoy the rush, the mood crashes. The depressive phase hits hard, like a wave of icy water. Suddenly, you're drained, gloomy, and full of hopeless thoughts. It's like turning into Squidward from SpongeBob. Irritable, tired, and convinced that nothing matters. These shifts can happen fast, often without warning, and some people may even experience anger or aggression during episodes. It's as if your brain keeps flipping a switch, sending your emotions bouncing between extremes. Schizophrenia. As a kid, you might have had an imaginary friend, someone only you could see or hear, a harmless creation of your young mind. But as you grew up, you understood they were just make-believe. Now imagine if that friend never went away, and to you they felt completely real. That's what life can be like for someone with schizophrenia. People with this disorder experience hallucinations. They may see, hear, or even speak with someone that no one else can perceive. To them, it's as real as talking to a person standing right in front of you. They also experience strong delusions, believing things that aren't true, like thinking they're part of a top-secret mission to save humanity. It's like constantly playing a game of two truths and a lie, but you can't figure out which one is false. Think of their brain like a radio, always jumping stations. One moment it's tuned to reality, and the next it's broadcasting something from another world entirely. Depressive disorder. Having depression can feel like being trapped in a world drained of all color. Everything looks dull, lifeless, and gray. Each day feels like a never-ending, miserable Monday. But depression isn't simply being sad or having a rough day. It runs much deeper than that. During a depressive episode, it's as if a heavy fog of sadness and emptiness settles in. It's like someone flipped a switch and turned off all the happiness in your life. Things you once enjoyed, your favorite food, your pets, or binge-watching YouTube, suddenly don't bring joy anymore. Losing interest in everything often leads to unhealthy patterns, either oversleeping or barely sleeping at all, eating way too much or not eating anything for days. Your energy feels drained, like a sloth struggling to get off the couch. Depressive disorder impacts over 280 million people globally, and many may not even realize they have it. If you're constantly feeling low, exhausted, and disconnected, it's a good idea to talk to a therapist. They can guide you through your emotions and help you discover ways to cope and feel better. Anxiety disorder. Anxiety feels like a nerve-wracking blend of fear and worry that hits without warning, like spring weather flipping from sunshine to storms. Living with an anxiety disorder is like constantly feeling you're being hunted by a wild bear swinging an axe. Your heart races like it's trying to leap out of your chest. You'd have palms so sweaty they feel like you just dunk them in water, and your stomach might flip and twist like an Olympic gymnast. While a little anxiety can be useful, alerting you to danger or helping you perform better, when it starts interrupting your daily life, it may have turned into a full-blown disorder. That means your brain spins non-stop with dread, like a hamster sprinting on a wheel. You could be having an amazing day and suddenly feel an intense panic out of nowhere. You'll overthink things that haven't even happened, obsess over past mistakes, and doubt yourself more than a magic 8-ball. Hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Picture yourself inside a circus where something wild is always happening. Acrobats flying through the air, clowns tossing bright juggling pins, and lions leaping through blazing hoops. Your eyes keep bouncing around, struggling to focus on just one act. That's a glimpse of what it feels like to live with ADHD, a never-ending 3-ring circus playing out inside your head. Your brain becomes a restless ringmaster, zipping from one rapid-fire thought to the next, never giving you a moment to pause. If you have ADH, you likely have trouble focusing, staying on top of tasks, and holding back impulsive reactions. It's like your mental on switch is jammed, and no matter what you do, it refuses to power down. Your mind floods with ideas and distractions all at once, kind of like being a kid in a candy shop with no spending limit. ADHD affects between 129 million to 366 million people worldwide, from kids to teens to adults. There are different types too. Inattentive ADHD makes it tough to stay focused or F-inish things even if you want to. Your attention wanders and your focus fizzles quickly. Then there's hyperactive impulsive ADHD, which makes sitting still or being quiet feel impossible. You might move nonstop or talk as fast as an auctioneer. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. Imagine having a super strict, bossy voice in your head, like an over-the-top parent, constantly telling you to clean, double-check, and arrange things perfectly. But instead of brushing it off, you have to listen. That's what living with OCD feels like. Your mind becomes a loop of unwanted thoughts or intense fears that just won't let go, no matter how much you try to ignore them. It's like an invisible itch you can't stop trying to scratch. These obsessive thoughts often turn into rituals or repeated behaviors, also called compulsions, that you feel you must do to keep something bad from happening or to calm your anxiety. For example, if you're afraid of germs, you might wash your hands so often that you run through an entire bottle of soap in a day. You could clean your room multiple times daily and spray disinfectant on everything, like you're personally saving the planet from a bacteria invasion. OCD affects around 79 million people globally, and it can be extremely draining, both mentally and emotionally. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Imagine being in a crowded room where everyone is laughing at a joke, but you have no clue what's funny or what they're even saying. It feels like you've just landed on a different planet. That's what everyday life can feel like for someone with autism spectrum disorder, ASD. ASD is a neurological condition that affects how people see, understand, and connect with the world around them. It's like their brain uses a slightly different version of software compared to others. They might need more time to process information, or may focus intensely on things others overlook. Someone on the spectrum might find social interaction tricky, like making eye contact, understanding body language, or picking up on sarcasm. But while social cues can be hard, they may have deep passions or interests they follow with incredible focus, show amazing creativity, or remember tiny details most people forget, like what shoes their second-grade teacher wore on picture day. ASD is called a spectrum for a reason. No two people with it are exactly alike. Some may not speak at all, while others are extremely verbal and expressive. Some might excel in areas like music, math, or art, while others may need extra help with school or work. Around 1% of the global population lives with ASD, and while there's no cure or quick fix, there are many ways to manage it. With behavioral therapy, education plans, and sometimes medications to handle anxiety, hyperactivity, or frustration, people with ASD can lead meaningful and fulfilling lives. Sleep disorder. According to the World Sleep Society, nearly 45% of people around the world are affected by some kind of sleep disorder. One of the most common ones is insomnia, the kind of condition where no matter how tired you are or how comfy your bed is, sleep just refuses to come. It's like your brain is throwing an all-night rave and totally forgot to send an invite to your body. Then there's narcolepsy, where your body flips the switch and knocks you out randomly during the day, even if you got a full 8 hours of sleep the night before. You could nod off while cooking, driving, or right in the middle of saying, "I'm the perfect fit for this role." Yikes. And we can't forget about sleep apnea. With this one, your breathing actually stops for short periods while you sleep. That means you're constantly waking up and, worse, snoring like a chainsaw. It's not just annoying, it's dangerous if untreated, like hitting snooze on your life over and over again. There are also sleep disorders that make people sleepwalk, talk, or even eat in their sleep. It's like living a double life, one you don't even remember. Paranoia. It's completely natural to feel a bit suspicious or uneasy from time to time, especially when something feels off or when there's a genuine reason to be cautious. That's just our brain's way of keeping us safe. But for someone dealing with paranoia, this normal sense of caution gets cranked up to extreme, overwhelming levels. Like someone took your fear dial and broke it off at maximum. Imagine you're at work and you notice two coworkers whispering to each other across the room. Most people might assume they're chatting about lunch plans or discussing something personal. But if you're someone living with paranoia, your mind could instantly spiral into darker thoughts. Maybe they're scheming against you, planning to get you fired, or even plotting something harmful. It sounds far-fetched, but for the person experiencing it, the fear feels absolutely real. It's like your brain becomes an obsessive, overthinking detective, always looking for danger and betrayal even when there's none. You begin to believe that people are watching you, talking behind your back, setting traps, when in reality, it's just your mind playing tricks. These thoughts are persistent, unwanted, and incredibly distressing. Dyslexia. Imagine a classroom filled with children learning how to read and write. Most of the kids start to recognize letters, form words, and eventually read full sentences. But for a child with dyslexia, this process isn't so simple. It's not just about reading slowly, it's like trying to understand a foreign language. Their brain is on a completely different learning journey, one that requires more patience, support, and a different approach. Dyslexia is a learning difference that affects the part of the brain involved in processing language. This makes it harder to connect letters to their sounds, spell words correctly, or even understand what's being read. A sentence that makes perfect sense to others might look like a confusing puzzle to someone with dyslexia. Writing things down or copying from the board may take them much longer, and even then the writing might be filled with spelling mistakes that don't reflect their true understanding. But here's something very important. Dyslexia has nothing to do with intelligence. People with dyslexia are just as smart, creative, and capable as anyone else. They simply process language differently. In fact, many people with dyslexia are excellent problem solvers and thinkers who shine in areas like art, storytelling, engineering, or design.